After watching this movie, I do not trust anyone anymore. Not my family, not my friends, just no one. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel in my 13 days of Halloween series. I did miss a day, so technically it's 12 days of Halloween, but you know what, who cares about that? Still, we're doing horror movies every single day. Every day we're going to put out a review until Halloween. So I started off with Little Monsters, and I went on to do Lake Mungo, then Friday the 13th. Oculus was next, It Comes at Night. Then I did The Visit from M. Night Shyamalan, and then I did The Lighthouse, which was a new release this weekend, and I did Are You Afraid of the Dark, the Nickelodeon television show, which is surprisingly good. And now I'm going to do a movie that is pretty old now. It's going to be a classic that everybody has at least heard the name. Hopefully you have heard the name, Rosemary's Baby. I had this recommended by a few people. I've been wanting to watch this forever, and I finally got a chance to see it. And man, this movie is something else. I really, really enjoy this movie. It's not like, you know, I'm doing a bunch of horror reviews, correct? Like, I don't really see this as a scary movie in terms of when you're watching. It's not like a classic or like a, you know, your cliched horror movie where there's a bunch of jump scares or there's a bunch of scare sequences. This is a really tense and creepy movie where you're following this woman who's just super paranoid about everything. You're not sure whether she's crazy, or if she's right, if she does think that these people are after her. And it's very tense and it's a very strange movie. And the ending, I loved the ending. This movie was just really unsettling throughout, and in a way that I haven't felt in a horror movie in a little while. So essentially what this movie is about is it follows the main character, Rosemary, who is newly married. She's moving to this new apartment where the neighbors across the street, this older couple, are kind of really forward and are a little bit too close to them. And it gets really, really creepy, and like, or they're super nice. Maybe they're just the most open, nice people. And like she even says that this woman across the apartment is very nosy. She's a very nosy character, and that her husband is very strange as well. And there's this weird thing where, you know, they invite them over for dinner, and something changes in the husband, and you start to see things slowly shift. And maybe, just maybe, Rosemary is right. Maybe these people are after her in some way, shape, or form, and she finds out that maybe, just maybe, they are witches. They're practicing witchcraft on her, and they want her baby for whatever reason. And it's very, very creepy. It's very unsettling, and like I said, and you never really know how to feel, because at one point in this movie, I'll just say spoilers. At one point, you know, she is truly insane. You know, she is convinced, 100% convinced that they are witches, and they convinced me that they are 100% witches. She's running off. She packs up her suitcase. She leaves. She's trying to confide in this other doctor because they've been having her go to this certain doctor that they trusted, or at least that older couple trusted. And so, you know, you start thinking, okay, maybe something's off about this. This entire sequence ends off in a very climactic moment where the doctor that she tried to trust, right? The doctor that you finally think, okay, maybe she found something good. She's able to rest for the first time in months, really. And then all of a sudden, you know, he goes and gets the other doctor, and then the husband, and then the other family, and it's just heartbreaking. You know, she's brought back to the home. She's put to sleep and all these different things, and when she wakes up, everything seems to be normal. And, you know, they're just saying, oh, you know, you're kind of losing your mind. You're like, okay, maybe they are normal, and she has a baby. And then something terrible happens, and the doctor comes out and says the baby didn't make it. And it is crushing. Just her performance, the actress in this movie does a great job throughout the entire movie. And she actually did something really physical in this movie when she was pregnant. And, you know, obviously you have the thing where if you're pregnant, you gain a lot of weight because you're carrying the baby with you, but she starts losing weight, and it's very creepy, and she starts becoming very frail, which is one of the more unsettling things. There's one odd thing about this movie is when she gets her haircut, I thought, you know, that's a weird choice. You know, it's a huge wardrobe change, and they just kept on saying, oh, different characters would walk and say, oh, you look horrible, and it's okay, little, you know, forward, it's a bit rude, but, you know, it's fine. But what was great about it is her transformation from her being her normal Rosemary self to her when she was first pregnant, having all these pains for several months of her pregnancy, which obviously is not a good thing. Even though the doctor was saying, oh, it'll go away in a few days, and it's been months, and it still hasn't gone away in a few days, obviously. And so it's her, she just really transforms into this sickly woman, and it's it's crushing because you know something's happening. You know that they're doing something to her, and it just, like I said, you don't trust anybody in this movie. You get super paranoid, and that's what's great about this movie is the feeling of paranoia that this puts upon the audience. And there is one thing, like I said, you know, she feels ill. She has these pains, and then she has this house party without anybody in that circle that's trying to, you know, the witchcraft circle, this cult that's basically trying to take her baby. Outside of that circle, she has a little party with some old friends, and they tell her to get help, and then all of a sudden, the next day, all the pains are gone, just out of nowhere. And this is one of the moments in this movie just felt like we had this huge problem and it just went away. And I have no idea why it went away or how it went away or what the purpose of that was, because then it makes us as an audience feel like, okay, maybe things are normal. And I think that's the only reason for that, but story-wise it didn't make sense. But besides that, the rest of this movie, the story is great because in the end you find out, you hear a baby crying on the other side of the wall, and at the beginning of the movie when they're first buying the apartments, the old woman in the room puts her like dresser in front of this closet, and yeah, honestly I kind of forgot about that. And at the end of the movie, you know, she's walking around, she goes to that closet, and there's a door behind it, so she's able to go to the apartment where the old couple live. And it's this terrifying sequence where she's walking through the hall, and she sees all these people standing around this crib that has, like, you know, these black drapes over it, and it's very, very creepy. And you hear the baby crying in there, and you're heartbroken because you know exactly, and they even say it's, you know, they're praising this cult, the birth of the devil, and it's a terrifying sequence because you think back at that nightmare scene that she had when she was essentially raped by her husband, which you find out later that it wasn't her husband, it was the devil himself, and it is terrifying. That is one aspect of this movie that is true horror. That entire sequence of the nightmare scene is terrifying, and then this entire end scene is terrifying. The rest of the movie is more psychological and more paranoia, but for the most part, these two sequences are horrible, and by the end, one of my favorite things about this movie is the final shot where Rosemary goes up to the crib. You know, she drops the knife, she's not holding the knife anymore, but she goes up, and you just want her so bad to just kill this baby. Like, it's not a baby, kill the devil, basically kill this devil baby that you just gave birth to. But she walks up to it and she gives the baby this look, and you never get to see what the baby looks like, but you know, she says, oh, its eyes are, or whatever she says, and it's, you can only imagine what this thing looks like. But she walks up to the crib at the very end, and she stands over and she starts rocking it. And then it ends. The movie ends from there. It goes to a watch out of the city, and it's a haunting ending, which I don't know what happens after that moment. It's something that I guarantee you everybody's been trying to analyze the ending of this movie, try to find meaning in it. I can't tell you what the meaning is. I'm probably going to look it up after making this video right now. I really, really enjoyed this movie. It is very haunting, very paranoid, filled. Like, I am paranoid about everything now. I don't trust anybody with anything. This movie kind of freaked me out a little bit, so definitely go watch Rosemary's Baby. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It is free on Amazon, so go check it out on there, along with all the other horror movies that I have done for this 13 Days of Halloween series, especially Lake Mungo and Little Monsters. Both those are great movies. Check it out. And The Lighthouse. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reviews, or if you want to see the series, I'll link the playlist and all of that. Subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you thought of Rosemary's Baby if you've seen it, and put it down any of your theories. You know, let me know what you guys think the ending of this movie really means. And so subscribe, like, comment, do all the things, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you all in my next one.